many times I've heard a story where a junior golfer has played in a men's competition, won it, and then after has been disqualified, not allowed to play it.
Possibly my favourite feature, this at the moment, stupid golf rules. If you've missed the last couple of episodes, it's where people write in with things that happen to them either on the golf course or at the golf club where it's a stupid golf rule, hence the title. If you've got one that you want to send in, please do. It's podcast@rickshiels.com and we'll get them out, hopefully. We've got loads of them in the bank at the minute, but the more the merrier. This one, the good ones make my blood boil, Rick.
Okay.
Do you want your blood to boil?
I want it boiling hot.
Okay, so it's from Ollie. Don't think there's any reason for it to be anonymous. When I started playing golf properly at 15, it's about 9 years ago, I was a junior at a golf club. Having taken up the game that summer, I started playing a few junior tournaments, and I was given a handicap of 32, which I think at the time they weren't official worthy. 28 was the highest. There was a men's 4-ball better ball competition coming up, and my dad asked the head pro if I could play with him, but obviously making sure I was playing off 28.
Okay.
So I didn't take more shots than was kind of legal at the time.
Yeah.
The pro agreed and said that was fine. We booked to play on the comp. I basically played the best golf I've ever played up to that point, and we shot the best score overall, winning the comp.
So it's better ball, him and his dad.
Yeah. 4-ball better ball, so that means just 2 against 2. I always forget with that one. So he's gone off a handicap that's 4 shots lower than his actual kind of handicap, but wants to play firm, playing the comp. Obviously, the committee of old men heard about what happened, and we got disqualified. The head pro, in all fairness, was really good about it and was really angry as well, but couldn't get the committee to change their decision. The old blokes have since moved on. The club's been better for it. So basically, he got banned and told you can't win the comp because of that.
This isn't the first time I've heard a story similar to this. Many times I've heard a story where a junior golfer has played in a men's competition, won it, and then after has been disqualified, not allowed to play in it, not allowed to collect the prize, whatever it may be. And for me, it's unacceptable in any capacity. I think what's an awful situation is things like, it sounds like that golf club, the pro wants it to be proactive to juniors. Ollie, you said his name was, didn't you? Ollie wants to play in the men's competition. Like, he wants to play, he's done somewhat the honest thing and played off the maximum men's handicap, which was 28, so he's already taken a hit there. And he's had a field day, which a lot of junior golfers have the capability of doing so because they're playing at the golf club a lot. Like, when you're a junior, you do reduce your handicap so much, don't you, really? Do you know what I mean?
You're playing so much golf. You're playing more than the comps, so you can't get your handicap down low enough, quick enough.
And I think that's where the old men committees at many golf courses, they can't get their head around. They can't accept the fact that because I only get to play once a week because I'm working every day, Monday to Friday, I'm at an unfair advantage at a junior who can play every single night and get the handicap down. But that's it. That's golf. Like, if the player shot the lowest net score, if that's what it is, if it's a net tournament, that player, regardless of age, regardless of sex, that's another big thing that's come into kind of fruition recently, regardless of what's taken place there, if that player has entered to play the competition and abide by the rules that are set out in play, they should be able to take the prize. They should be able to win. There should be no restrictions to who wins that competition.
I think for me, obviously it looks like they've probably something against juniors. It's more the fact that if I'm trying to play devil's advocate, they've said, well, you play off an incorrect handicap because your handicap's 32 and you play off 28. But he's going to have a handicap that's lower. So I'm
sure you're allowed to go off handicap lower.
Are you? Oh, right.
I might be wrong, but I remember something along the lines of, I'm sure you're allowed to play off, because there's lots of like corporate days or other days where the maximum handicap is 20 or 24 or whatever.
That's true, yeah.
And you have to play to that handicap.
Yeah, that's very true.
So if the maximum handicap is 28,
fair, yeah.
The only thing, and again, for me, is that if it was, and I don't agree with this rule one bit, I think it would be ridiculous to have, but I know golf clubs will have it. If there was a rule that very clearly stipulated that junior golfers cannot play in men's competitions, and that was the rule set out in play, and this junior entered a men's competition and won it, if the rule was set out in play that juniors categorically cannot play or win in men's competitions, then the committee have a point. I don't agree with that. I think that's wrong and incorrect. That's the only time that you'd ever think, oh, actually, he doesn't deserve to be disqualified. He does deserve to be disqualified because he's actually broken a rule of the golf club.
I've got a question for you then.
Go for
I want to be honest on this, and it's a tough one. I don't agree with it, but it's just worth the discussion. So at my golf club when I was a junior, if you were a single-figure handicap junior, which actually there were quite a lot of us at the time, you could play in the men's comps.
Yep.
And I think you could win them all. if you were off. I think you could. There might be a couple that you couldn't, but I think you could. But you knew that going into it anyway, whatever the rule was. And obviously at the time, I completely was for that and thought it was completely fair, and a lot of people did as well. And I still do. But just to put a different opinion out there, how would you feel if you were a full member of a golf club and your green fees are, let's just say, £1,200 a year, and juniors are paying £100, which obviously it's great for juniors to pay a reduced green fee. It's good to get people into golf, etc. I'm sure we all agree on that. But if you want to play at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning because you had something on in the afternoon, it was your daughter's birthday party, whatever, and it was busy, club comps these days, know from experience, get very busy very quickly. You go to book on at about 10 o'clock and there's no spaces, and the 10 o'clock tee you were hoping for has got 2 blokes and 2 juniors. They're paying a tenth of your green fee. Would that annoy you that you can't get that green fee because the junior's there, or is that just really petty, or how would you feel? Because I could kind of get it to some degree if someone was annoyed.
I don't ever think I'd look at it that way. I don't think I'd ever break it down to how much they're paying from a personal perspective. And the other thing, when people get asked about juniors winning, personally, again, if you're asking me, I just don't think I'd be asked enough. Like, even if I hadn't get my name on a board, I don't think I'd be asked enough to think, oh, juniors beat me because he's shot a less net score than me. It's just golf. Like,
but what about that? I know it's hard because you're not a member of a golf club, but if you wanted to...
If it was happening all the time, I think I'd want to get in a point going, how can I guarantee a tea time at 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
If I want a tea time at 10 o'clock, what do I have to do to guarantee it? The thing, I mean, do you remember the old school things? It probably still happens at golf clubs where the Saturday competition, the paper board, the paper sheet would go up in the clubhouse on a Thursday night.
Used to be that, Mike, for the week after. So not the next. Yeah, that just happened at mine. It's all online
physically
now.
Go down to the golf club, because it was the golf club's way of getting, Rick and Guy are going to go down, they'll grab a quick pint or whatever. But I mean, that I found ridiculous, because if you worked evenings and you couldn't get down, that's just the most ridiculous thing in the world. Like I say, it's probably hard for me to really give an honest answer, because I just don't think I'd be asked enough.
No, and that's good. I don't think people should be, but I'm trying to give other reasons, because I don't get it why people are so against juniors sometimes. But like, that could only be one angle that people might say, well, I'm paying tenfold what they're paying and I can't get a tea time. But that is very petty. Yeah. If it happened every week, maybe you've got a point. But if it's a one-off, it's not really. Yeah,
because otherwise, the 954 that's been taken by 4 members, full pay. I just can't get a tee. That's what I'd be annoyed about, as opposed to who's in that tee slot.
Yeah,
like, it's almost more the club's fault. Why can't I get a tee on a day that I want to play golf?
Do you think that juniors should have to play with men though? So you couldn't have 4 juniors in a comp or 3.
I must admit, I'm not opposed to that.
To which
juniors needing to play with an adult member. And you know what? It's not so much the fact that it's checking up on the juniors. It's just making sure that nothing happens that the juniors aren't aware of. Let's say a rule impeachment, or they've not quite added up the scores correctly, or like, I feel like it's just more of a guidance rather than policing. Yeah, like, it's more like, we're going to put a male golfer with you, or sorry, not a male, an adult golfer with you, just to keep not check, that's the wrong word, just to help you out, not to police you. And
I think it's good as well, if you had 3 juniors and one of them shot a net 65, people might be thinking it's a bit wrongly so, people might be not believing it, but if there's a grown up there with them, it might be a bit more.
Yeah, that's all it is. I feel like, if it sounds a bit petty, but if 3 juniors were at school in the playground, their version of an event on their own would be very different if an adult was there that saw it all happen. I feel like the adult would have a better perspective of the event that took place. And that's similar to out on a golf course. Like, if you've got 3 juniors out there playing on their own, if it's a junior comp, fine, that's what it is. But I think as a proper tournament or whatever you're playing in, I don't think it's the end of the world if you did have an adult there just checking it.
Fair.
And the other thing as well, I'm not sure how confident, because I've had it, not personally, but a student I used to coach had an issue with another junior, and they thought this other junior was cheating a lot, and that the junior that I knew didn't maybe have the confidence or the ability to raise that subject, where I feel like if there's an adult there, an adult could go, I'm really sorry, little Jimmy, you've made an error there. Like, that's actually against the rules of golf. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but you can't ground your club in a bunker. Or actually, by the way, did you notice there you took 8 shots and you didn't take a 6? Or do you know what it is? It's more just giving that little bit of guidance, having that grown up brain, being able to put an input in there.